Severed Steel is a 2021 game by Greylock Studio, and in it you play as the titular Steel, a character who seemingly lost her arm in some kind of incident that involved a corporation, although there is no dialogue in the few story cutscenes there are, and so this is just what's implied. And she decides to go on a revenge mission against this corporation. She wants to kill the CEO and burn the whole place to the ground. It's rather bare bones, but a deeper narrative would probably damage this game. The game itself feels like a combination between Mirror's Edge, without the awful story they insisted on telling, of course, super hot, and something like BPM bullets per minute. You fight your way through an electronic soundtrack as you stunt your way to success, dodging all the enemies you can and taking them out before they can land too many hits on you. In addition, the environments are destructible, and so blowing holes in the walls and shooting enemies through them is a viable option, but we'll get into what all makes this game special in a moment. Before that, though, it should be stated that all the footage I captured was captured on the lowest difficulty setting. The game is tough and takes a while to master. I plan on continuing to play this purely because of how fun it is, but for now, I'm only playing it on the easiest mode possible. Next will be the second easy mode for me. One up from easiest, I know. I'm quite the hardcore gamer. Now, let's get to it. Replenishment. One of the primary gimmicks of this whole experience is that your character only has one arm. Now, that presents an interesting dilemma when it comes to the whole idea of reloading. Now sure, if you had enough time and you were accustomed to only having one hand, you probably could reload a weapon, but this game is all about speed and finesse, and so there is no time for reloading, and so there is no reloading. You grab guns off enemies, either by pulling a secondary gun off an enemy as you run past them, or you can grab their primary gun after you've killed them. If you don't have a weapon, your character will automatically pick up a gun when you pass over one, and this all adds to an extremely fluid combat system. You move through the environment, grabbing guns from enemies, blasting your foes to death, throwing the weapon away and grabbing another one. This is the only way to get more ammo for regular guns. There is a special weapon that requires a different ammo type, but for the most part you'll be running and gunning. Well, you might say running and gunning, but really you'll be performing a whole load of stunts. You need to make use of stunts wherever possible. You have a vast array of movement abilities in this game. You can dive, slide, jump, wall run, and go into bullet time. Each of these stunts allows you to remain clear of enemies, dodging out of the way of their attacks and forcing them into difficult situations. You see, your enemies do not have the same movement capabilities as you do. They can never move as quickly as you can, and so if you dive off a rooftop, through a window, shattering the glass as you go, and taking out every enemy in your path in a bullet time slow-mo move, well, that's just par for the course. If you do not use a vast array of moves, you will never be able to evade the multitude of enemies that come at you, and the use of bullet time allows you to take things a bit slower so you can pop off rolls and devastating slides as every enemy is gunned down in your path. The game never wants you to stay still, and the whole thing looks immensely stylish when performed well. I myself am not amazing at it, but simply watching someone competent or doing it yourself will yield at least some amazing moments. There's nothing quite as gratifying as pulling off a tricky move, nailing it perfectly, and then coasting your way to victory. And getting to that victory point is made easier or harder depending on your skill level because of invulnerability. Now, whenever you kill an enemy, you gain back some health, or at least on the lower difficulty settings. This encourages aggressive, fast, fluid, stylish play. You're not going to make it through by being careful and cautious. You're going to make it through by sprinting through the world and shooting everyone before they can shoot back at you. So, you get health back from killing enemies, but there tend to be a lot of enemies, and so there's no way you'll be able to dodge them all. That's why it's great that there are invulnerability frames in this game. The environments are almost entirely destructible, but you very often aren't. Whenever you're doing a stunt of some kind, you are invulnerable. According to the game, you dodge every attack when you're doing a stunt, but mechanically, this works as an invulnerability period. So, if you can just keep moving and dodging and performing stunts, you will never die. When you're moving so quickly through the world, you may struggle to take careful aim much of the time, but the fact that you can so easily snatch up new weapons and the fact that you can be invulnerable so long as you stay on your toes, well, that means fast stunt-oriented play is always the most desirable option. It also helps that playing with loads of stunts also happens to be the most fun and stylish way to play. This is probably a game that would be great to watch someone else play, someone competent, so not me. It will also be perfect for speedrunning. But anyway, you want to be a stylish master when you play this game, and with some practice, you just may be able to accomplish that. And that's it for Severed Steel.